All right, what's up, guys? This is Ryan again here with a cool little muscle building interview, and today I got IFBB pro bodybuilder Ben Pakulski, and I'm pretty pumped to get him on the call today. But first off, Ben, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy morning and hopping on with me here and talking to my people. So
my pleasure, Ryan. Thanks for having me, man.
no problem. Well, I guess we just jump right in. As if anybody that doesn't know, Ben is a professional IFBB pro bodybuilder. I believe you just took fourth place, if I'm not mistaken, at your last contest. Was that correct?
Actually, my last one was the Olympia, and I got 11th. The one prior to that was the Arnold, and I got 4th. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was reading up on the bio. But that's awesome, man. So I want to talk, before we get into like training and stuff. I mean, just the mentality as a bodybuilder and what you go through. Like, I mean, most people look at that from the outside in and kind of think it's like self-inflicted torture. But can you just give us, like, what do you got to go through to, like, I mean, to get to that level? Like, what type of sacrifices have you made and things like that to really take your training and physique to that type of level?
You know, Ryan, I mean, actually, it's ironic. I had that conversation yesterday at dinner with somebody. Everybody sees what you're going through now. Everybody sees, the publicity. Everybody sees the travel. Everybody's, you're starting to make good money. Everybody goes, wow, your life is awesome. And they don't actually acknowledge or see the amount of sacrifice that I've put in and we've put in as pro bodybuilders for the last, for myself, is about 15 years. Really, growing up through high school and university, I had to sacrifice a lot, man. I mean, I didn't party. I mean, from time to time I did. My buddies are going out drinking or going out to dinners, and I was staying home because I had to train or I had to study. Because your training takes up so much time that, that's time that is taken away from your studies. So now all of a sudden something's got to take the back, go on the back burner. So I was essentially it was my social life. I still had a girlfriend all through school, and I had to spend time with her. So there wasn't a lot of social time. That's something that you definitely sacrifice. And now, I mean, I've got a family, and there's a lot of sacrifice to the family, which is really sad. But I mean, ultimately, you have to travel to pay your bills because people all over the world want to meet you. They want to train with you. They want to hear you speak. They want to see you pose. So I get to travel probably, 30 weekends a year. So it's a lot of sacrifice. I mean, I've got a newborn baby, and you got to be on the road. It's paying the bills. It's really sad because you want to be there with your family. You want to be there with your son and your wife, but you can't. So these are some of the sacrifices we go through. And as far as being able to go out and eat dinner when you want, you can't. As far as your schedule is very, very strict. I'm getting up at the same time every day, going to bed very early. My wife and I haven't had a date night in 3 months because we got a newborn, and I'm training for contests. So there's a lot of sacrifice.
What drives that? I mean, why put yourself through that? What's the the motivator there? I mean, other than just beating your competition.
Honestly, my thing is my dad instilled something in me when I was a little kid, and you're a little kid and you kind of want to sign up for everything and you want to be part of everything, and then you go, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do this.
Yep.
Dad would never let me quit. My dad, I signed up for every different type of sport. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go to college with my friends. No, you signed up. You're committed. You finish. You can go at the end when you don't have a game or when your summer's over. Then you can do something else. So I guess it's something that's kind of been drilled into my brain from the time I was a kid. Is I set a goal to be the best in the world, and it's the only thing on my mind. The only thing I really want to do is improve myself every single day, and there's no doubt in my mind that my best is the best in the world. If I pull everything together and I stay with this and I stick with it just for a couple more years, all the benefits and all the rewards are going to come. So really, that's what it is, man. It's just like that tunnel vision and not allowing myself to give up on a goal.
Then that's all most people, and that's where most people really suck. If you ask me, I mean, it's actually just following through on the actual goals. So it's cool to hear. I mean, just to be that devoted to something is just awesome. I mean, you don't see that nowadays. I mean, I think they call it. I mean, it's called ADD now. I don't know what they.
Yeah, everybody tries to be the master of all trades, right? Everybody is rewarded for multitasking, and I think multitasking is one of the worst things you can do, man. You got to put your focus into one thing and do it extremely well if you want to be successful. I mean, it's great to be balanced, obviously, but if you ask any of the most successful people in the world if their life is balanced, and I guarantee they'll tell you no. Ultimately, balance means shifting your attention from one month or 1 year to the next. So, I'm balanced throughout the year, but I'm 3 months of the year I'm focused on a contest, then 3 months of the year I'm focused on business and family, then 3 months, then I'm back to contest, then 3 months I'm back to business and family. So I get balanced that way as opposed to balance on like a daily basis or a weekly basis. You just try to balance out, work as hard as you can on one thing until you complete the goal, and then switch your focus to try to find balance in something else.
That's awesome. And taking the balance aspect, do you recommend that that's how actually like regular folks start train? Do they you recommend they train balls to the wall for 3 months, then kind of chill out, then or do you prescribe more like the strategic all year? I know Hypertrophy Max is an all year type of thing, but is there?
Yeah, it's still very much periodized within the year. Hypertrophy Max is the new program we're actually releasing very soon, or just did. Essentially, we've periodized the entire year to optimize growth. So there's times when we really back off on training. Even we do micro cycles and macro cycles. So what that means for people who don't really know, a micro cycle would be maybe periodizing within the week or within the month, and then a macro cycle would be periodizing within the year. So we periodize everything for you just to make sure your body's always got enough time to recover. You never overtrain. But at the same time, there's also times in that workout throughout the year where we're really pushing you. We're actually trying to get you to overtrain and overreach a little bit, because that's really where you get your biggest growth. That final 1% getting outside of your comfort zone is where you really start to achieve growth and success in life. And people never want to go there because they're afraid. So
exactly, I was about to say. Most people that last set is where they're the energy's dying, and the people that push through, that's where you see you see the gains. I know in your other program in MI40, I think you called the NOS sets, right?
Exactly.
I know that's a huge part of your training program. Is that in the new Hypertrophy Max as well?
We do use it, yeah, and along with a number of other hypertrophy methods and techniques. The thing with the NOS is, man, it's not rocket science. It's not anything revolutionary. It's just a way to get extremely outside of your comfort zone and work hard, because people are afraid. So I've put a name on something that is essentially, okay, this is the set now where we're going to take it to the limit. We're going to take it past where you've ever been before, because people are normally afraid to do that. The world is so used to conforming to mediocrity. Everybody wants to be normal. Everybody wants to be average, and it's trying to get away from that.
Yeah, and I'm good friends with Elliot Hulse, and he preaches the same thing all the time. It's just, and the more you see it, the more right now, I'm doing morning cardio and afternoon workouts, and just, I've never really committed to that type of schedule myself, and just the gains that I've seen in the last 12 weeks have been just huge. And it was more just like you said, it's waking up early in the morning doing cardio is uncomfortable. You don't want to do it, So it's but you do it because you want that end result. So
right.
It's people that shut off and actually do it are the ones that get the results.
And that's exactly what I preach. Is you can commit to something to go full out for 8 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it is. So commit 100% and go 100% to committing to your fitness for the next 8 weeks. Once that's done, commit to 100% to something else, because you'll have such a great sense of accomplishment, because you'll actually have got your goal accomplished. Work really, really hard for 8 weeks. Get outside your comfort zone, and then because it's such a short term, anybody can do that. If you say, "Oh, I just want to get in shape," well, yeah, great. What does that mean? It's going to take you 6 months. It's going to take a year. Then it seems like a daunting task. Where if I say, "I want you to go 100% committed to this goal for 6 weeks or 8 weeks," that seems like, oh, I can kind of do that. I can commit myself to that. It's a short period of time. Even if it's 4 weeks for some people, commit 100% to no cheating, no missing meals, no missing cardios, no missing workouts for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is, and commit yourself to excellence for that short amount of time, and you're going to create new great habits.
Yeah, that's I think they talk about it. There's been studies done that it's a 21 days is all it takes to instill a new lifestyle habit.
Exactly.
So I'm always big on that. It's get through 3 weeks, and then I know that the other 3 are going to be a breeze, because I'm going to change my habits. And I think most people they shut off after that. I would give them the benefit of the doubt. Most people shut off after about 7 to 10 days.
I think it's even less, man. I think getting through the first 3 to 5 days for most people is the hardest thing.
That's probably true. I like to give people a little more credit, but you're probably right.
Man, I've worked with a lot of people, and the hardest time for most people is getting through the first week.
What do you think? What do you think blocks most people from achieving their goals.
Rationalization, man. You rationalize everything. Oh, it's not going to hurt me. It's the first week, or I can do this. Or I can just skip. It's not going to hurt me this time. But you're creating habits. That's what people don't realize. Is like, no, eating one cookie today is not going to hurt you, but it's the rationalization of eating that cookie that makes you justify it the next time and the next time and the next time because it didn't hurt you the first time. And then you rationalize, and all of a sudden you're back to square one. So
yeah. What so going back, talk a little bit about training. What types of exercises are your favorites? What do you prescribe most to your clients, your people? Like, what is the mainstay in most of your programs?
It's so specific to each person. The one thing that I do is that I try to look at the most common mistakes that I see made on a day-to-day basis as I travel through the world, and I travel in different gyms. And I kind of narrow it down to, maybe it be one or two mistakes or 5 mistakes or 5 common things holding people back. And that's really the way I approach it. So, the things that I don't like to prescribe exercises. I like to prescribe ways of doing exercises. So, the one thing that I always say is it doesn't matter what you do. It matters how you do it. I can write you the best workout in the world, but if you do it with poor execution, you're not going to get results. So that's the thing that Hypertrophy Max and MI40 really drive into people is it doesn't matter what the workout is. Ultimately, the workout matters at some level, but that's not your first consideration. Your first consideration needs to be how you're executing. So those are the things that I drone to people, man. And moving a weight from point A to point B is a waste of your time. You need to learn to create tension. If you can't create tension, if you can't feel a working muscle, you're wasting your time. Learn, because it's not as hard as you think. People just kind of go through life and think that the mind-muscle connection, quote unquote, is kind of like the impossible dream. I don't know I can't really feel that muscle. It's not difficult. It really isn't if you have someone there to show you or you have someone explain it to you. But trying to learn something on your own, it's like if I say, hey, here's a book in Chinese, figure out how to read this. You can't do it. But if you had someone to teach you, you could do it. It's going to take you a lot less time. So, that's the way I look at training and helping people.
Awesome. And what about as far as I know, I was totally against slow cardio when I first started. I was a big interval guy, and then funny enough, I never actually received got the gains and results that I wanted. What's your take on cardio? And what do you prescribe? Like, what's your go-to for shows and things like that? I know there's a huge debate in the fitness world about freaking cardio.
So here, let me explain why high-intensity cardio probably didn't work for you. The reason high-intensity cardio works, or the reason it's supposed to work, is because it's supposed to be as close as you can get to your maximum exertion. So the reason that it's not working, or it doesn't work for most people, is they don't know how to get close to their maximum exertion. Most people, when I say, okay, let's do a sprint for your high-intensity aspect of your HIIT cardio, they get to around 60% exertion, or maybe some people get up as high as 80. But to get really great results, it needs to be somewhere between 80 and 100% exertion. So it's hard to do, because the goal of high-intensity cardio is not necessarily to get your heart rate up. It's to get it's to get maximum amount of lactic acid accumulation. So people don't realize that. Your actual exercise selection is important. Heart rate obviously can be a benefit, but for maximum fat burning from high-intensity cardio, you need to get maximum lactate, so lactic acid buildup. And most people don't understand that. And if they did, they'd be able to be a lot more successful with HIIT cardio. So like yourself, I think you're just kind of alluding to the fact that it didn't really work for you. Try doing a bigger differential between your high intensity and your low intensity. So get really, like, people tell me they do high intensity cardio for an hour or for 30 minutes. Well, shit. It's impossible. Really. For you to do 20 minutes of high intensity intervals, it's not high intensity enough. If you can do more than 10 minutes of high intensity intervals, you'd probably die. Like, you're going to pass out and fall on your butt. Like, I'm getting ready for the Olympia. I may do like a total of 3 minutes of between the high intensity, I'm doing low intensity stuff, but a total of 3 minutes of like sprints all out. And that's a ridiculous amount of volume. If I were to give you my protocol, it's a ridiculous, like, you'd probably do 40 seconds total and puke.
That's how, because I'm a pro cyclist, and we do we do a lot of, I put in a lot of road miles, and it's short, but it's not the same as sprinting by any means, because you are seated in a seat, but I'm accustomed to the feeling of lactic burn, and that's actually another reason why I mean, at a level like where you're at, I mean, your intensity has to be so high because of the accumulation that you've built up. It's just like, and it's insane to see that intensity and be able to sustain it for a long period of time too, which is where a lot of people don't understand either.
Right. You know, intensity is a learned thing. I mean, it doesn't just come overnight. It's not given to you. It's not, you know, you're not something you're just kind of born with. It's learned, just like anything else. But as you say about the bike, I actually prefer the bike for high intensity cardio because it's a cyclical movement. You can actually get more lactic acid accumulation, as I'm sure you can attest from riding the bike.
Yeah, it's murder. I do one ride a week, usually every Tuesday night, and it's about, we try to keep up about a 28-mile pace for pretty much as long as we can.
Right.
And I mean, by the end of it, I mean, and this is mind you in traffic. We're trying not to get hit by cars either, but
right.
But I mean, it's, oh God, it's like you just want to cry as you're going.
Right.
And then and as the competition takes over, you know, you don't want to let the guy next to you beat you, so you're like, "Argh."
Of course.
But it's
so,
awesome.
I mean, that again, that's not an interval, right? So that's going to get a lot of lactic acid, but that's probably going to be switching into a different energy system because you want to be able to come out of that lactic threshold. So I wonder if you could push like 40 to 45 miles per hour for a really short period of time, you know, 30 seconds, and then do some downtime. That might be more beneficial for fat burning because you're really pushing the envelope to try to deplete your muscle glycogen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as far as like with the, you know, especially with mine, like what I'm doing is my level, like I said, like my slow cardio on a bike is like, I mean, I can literally ride for 15, 20 miles and barely break a sweat.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I really do have to break the intensity to even get like to like a heart rate of like 120, 130 that's where like I would sustain fat burning for a period of time.
Right.
I mean, so I know that my cycling habits are like a lot different than the average person. I mean,
of course, yeah, of course, your body's really well trained.
So I mean, but go back to normal people. I mean, so do you recommend a mixture of both cardios, or do you?
I do actually, definitely.
Okay, cool.
I'd suggest doing high intensity cardio 2 to 3 times a week and doing low intensity cardio probably 2 to 3 times a week as well.
Cool.
Just a balance, you know, maybe 4 to 5 cardio sessions a week in total. And definitely a balance and a variation. Never just do the same exercise because they all have different muscular patterns. You know, they're all different muscular firing patterns. They're all going to train your muscular system differently. So you want to, it's almost like rotating your tires. That's one analogy I use all the time in training and cardio. It's very important to rotate your tires so you don't get wear patterns. If you're doing the same, you know, the same cycling cadence all the time and the same pattern, eventually your knees are going to start to hurt or your hips are going to start to hurt because it's a wear pattern on your joints. You want to try to make sure you're rotating things, especially with cardio and training.
Cool. Well, we're getting about 18 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but can you tell us a little? I know I'm a big fan of your MI40 program, but right now you and Vince just released Hypertrophy Max, and that's and like you said before, it's like a year long. Can you just explain a little bit about, you know, kind of summarize that really quickly for my people?
Yeah, for sure. So Hypertrophy Max is a 12-month periodized program, so it's kind of a monthly recurring mail-out product. So you actually get a physical, tangible product to your door. We get a 24-page newsletter magazine thing that we send to you, as well as 1 to 2 DVDs every month, which includes the workout of the month, as well as Secrets of the Pros. So basically, we've picked 12 of the most successful people that we know and some of our biggest resources in life. And we've done interviews with them so that you guys can really get an insight into their brain and their thought processes. We've got a getting to know your coach section, so really in-depth things about Vince and I and our training and our approach to life and success. And then the biggest thing is getting execution every month. Every month we're giving you the videos and teaching you what's going on inside my mind when I'm training. I could show you, you could watch me train all day long, and you'll have no idea what I'm doing or no idea how to do it the way I do it. Doing the same movement pattern isn't necessarily the same as doing the same things I'm doing. So what's going on inside my brain? What am I thinking about? What am I squeezing? What am I stretching? Where am I shoving? You know, things like that is the most important aspect of Hypertrophy Max and MI40, really. Imagine getting into the mind of one of the best trainers in the world and understanding his mindset and his thought process. That's really what we're trying to do with Vince and I, giving you basically everything we could possibly come up with. And I mean, we travel the world to get to work with the best coaches and trainers in the world. Most people don't have access to that because, I mean, I'm obviously becoming one of the best bodybuilders in the world. So people are willing to work with me. People are willing to help. People are willing to teach me. Whereas if you went to them, Ryan, what would they say? They'd be like, "Oh yeah, no problem, I'll help you, but it's going to cost you $3,000 or whatever, right?"
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I tried to hit him, I mean, it would be like, oh, first off, it'd be a flight to some probably
Right.
weird Canadian country, and then it's a hotel room for 3 or 4 nights, and then it's a certification fee, and it's like, I mean, it's 5, 6 grand before you even learn a speck of knowledge from. I mean, I know Vince just went through a lot of Paul Check stuff. I mean, that I mean.
Charles Poliquin. Charles
Oh,
Poliquin.
Polkman, sorry. Yep, Ferris Poli. Those two confused all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, even still, like, just I mean, I know that wasn't cheap, and just that knowledge to be able to have somebody just even come through and just for a fraction of the cost to give just even a snippet of like what he learned is huge.
Well, literally, we're exactly doing that, man. We're taking the best information from the best coaches in the world. And Vince and I make a point to do at least 2 to 3 certifications a year from different people, so that we can teach all the information that we're getting. And the thing is, you can read a book and you can get one thing from it, but reading a book or doing a certification and teaching you guys the practical application is very different. You know, I can read a journal, a science journal, and get one thing out of it, and you get one thing out of it. But teaching you how to apply it to life or how to apply it to the gym is probably the hardest thing, and the best thing that we offer in Hypertrophy Max and MI40 is not only just like giving you great scientific info, but to most people, scientific info is useless. It's worthless without the actual application. So that's really what we're trying to do. And we write the workouts for you every month. They're amazing workouts, amazing tips on execution and how to do your nutrition. So everybody's loved it. Our retention rate has been ridiculous. I mean, 86% retention. I mean, Ryan, you probably know is
that's
obscene.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, usually people are psyched to keep 20% of their people.
Yeah, I mean, we were actually striving for 60. 60 was our goal, and we got 86. So that's pretty good.
And like I said before, I mean, that's why starting this year, I wanted to talk about like your mental aspect stuff. I mean, you guys, you go in a lot to that in your stuff, and that's something I don't see, which is such an important part of building muscle and like achieving goals is goal setting and how to actually achieve goals and things like that. And I know just looking through the sample that I got from Vince is just like, I mean, there's a whole section on like lifestyle and achieving goals. I mean, it's awesome. And I mean, that's such a important aspect that most people just don't totally overlook.
Man, the one thing that I say to everybody is I'm not genetically blessed. I mean, as much as it sounds ridiculous, I'm not blessed. I'm not overly intelligent to, genetically or from being a child or from childhood, but I work hard and I have a strong mind and I don't give up. And these are the things that you try to teach people is like, if I can become a pro bodybuilder and I can become one of the best in the world and eventually the best in the world, you can do anything, man. If I showed you the pictures of my family, the pictures of me when I was a kid, if you had any idea of what I went through when I was a kid, you'd be like, it's really an incredible thing to have accomplished, to be where I am. Mm-hmm. And that's the type of mindset things that I try to share with people. And I mean, I've just been blessed to surround myself with brilliant people. I'm not taking credit for being, getting as far as I have on my own. It's just surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me, people that are doing better than me, people that are successful. And learning from them, man, because success leaves clues. So if you want to be successful, you surround yourself with people who are better than you, and you model what they do. And that's really what we're trying to do with Hypertrophy Max is give people a model. So like here, this is exactly what we do. Like I'm not withholding anything, man. It's like no holds barred. This is exactly what I do.
That's awesome.
If you want to be successful, this will work for you too. Cool. I've made so many mistakes along the way. We're trying to prevent people from making mistakes.
Yeah, and like you said, just giving people a laid out plan, just something to follow. I mean, there's so much power in that, and especially with the knowledge, backed behind you guys, it's a no brainer, really, just to learn from you guys.
Takes all the thought out of it and puts it in one place.
And I know it's on right now the Hypertrophy Max. For those listening, if that's the program that you sound like you're interested in that Ben and his partner Vince Del Monte put out, that's it's only open I believe till this Friday at midnight. So if you're watching this from my email list, I know you guys are kind of on top of it. But I mean, if you're seeing this on YouTube and if it's closed, I'm sorry, but you can check out Ben's other program, which is Mass Intentions 40, and I'll throw links below to all this different stuff for you guys. But just can you summarize MI40 for people too, just in case they're watching this on YouTube like 6 months from now?
Like I said, MI40 is essentially what I've come up with to be the 5 biggest things holding people back from achieving their gains. I mean, you get so many people in the gym day to day that just don't make progress, or year to year they look the same. And I'm like, why is that? So you look around and I can pick out exactly what everybody's doing wrong. I could probably look at your body and tell you what you're doing wrong before ever seeing you move, before ever seeing you work out. it's so simple because everybody's doing the same thing wrong. So I've done those things wrong. So I found ways to overcome them, and I put them into a program because I get so many people around the world that go, Ben, can you help me with this? And I don't have time to help everybody individually, and I wish I did. But so I took the time to put it into a program and I've had so much overwhelming success that I'm so grateful for it. But essentially, that's what it is. It's a 40-day program teaching you the most advanced muscle building concepts that I've come up with over the last 15 years. Execution, exact workouts, intensifiers, nutrition plans, literally everything A to Z that you need to be successful. And yeah, it's been an amazing success.
Awesome. And for those, I mean, I love the MI40. I think the concepts in there are just awesome. So thanks for putting something like that out.
And I've got so many ideas inside my head that Vince has to go, man, just slow down. Let's do one at a time. Let's make this one great and let people know how much what we have to offer, and then we'll do the next one. So I'm sure there'll be lots more in the future.
That's and just to wrap things up. I know we've been going like 26 minutes now, and I appreciate you taking the time to just come on here. I mean, where can people find you? I mean, what's the best? Is your Facebook page? Your
Facebook's a great way. Yeah, IFBB BenPak is my Facebook. Same with Twitter. BenPakulski.com. It's PAKULSKI.com. Yeah, I mean, Flex Magazine. I got a monthly column, Flex Magazine online. So anything like that, I'm sure you guys can find me all over the internet.
All right, cool. And one last final question: who's your favorite bodybuilder?
Now or of all time?
I guess both. All time, because that's like for inspiration when you're growing up, and then.
Dorian Yates is my man all time. He's just amazing. Dorian Yates and Flex Wheeler, and those guys are just so amazing to me. Dorian, because he was so dense and so hard that he just looked like he wasn't human. Flex Wheeler, just the muscle bellies and the proportion, and it was just such a beautiful, almost like a work of art. Which is kind of cool because Flex is actually one of my best friends now, so it's pretty cool to have that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, I was 17 years old and looking up to him, and now I talk to him almost on a daily basis. Currently, man, as much as I compete against him, I obviously look up to Jay. Jay's amazing, but I look up to Kai. I think Kai's a pretty bodybuilder. I love his cerebral approach, man. I love how he's modest. I love how he's just chilled out. He's not a typical arrogant meathead, and I just hate those guys. So as much as everybody probably thinks I'm the same thing, I just like people who are just laid back, don't take themselves too seriously, and he's just very cerebral. He's a thought out guy, so I like that.
Yeah, there's some good Kai Green YouTube vids out floating around, documentary stuff. He's an incredible bodybuilder.
He's a solid guy too. So
good stuff. Well, once again, man, thanks for coming on and chatting with me this morning. I appreciate it. And for those listening, definitely if it's before Friday, I believe the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, you can grab you can get an access to the Hypertrophy Max program. If you're watching this after that, unfortunately, you got to scoop up his other awesome program, Mass Intentions 40. So once again, Ben, thanks a lot, and appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it, man.
Awesome.